Hello, this is Steve Board. I'm the chair of the Chamber of the Watertown Chamber of Commerce. I almost got that out right, folks. And this is Chamber Chat. I'm today with Alex Allon. Alex is the Strategic Initiatives and Development Director for the City of Watertown. We're recording this on September 14th. He will have that position for a grand total of 2 more days. And we're sorry to hear that, Alex.
Well, thanks, Steve. It's kind of like I said, it's a bittersweet moment. I'm moving into a new role, which I'm excited about, but definitely has been an amazing experience to be a part of the Watertown community, and sad to go and leave everybody here.
Yeah, and I think what we can tell everybody is when you came, you just jumped right in, and we were so excited about that. So 2 years ago, yeah. I'm going to guess you knew little about Watertown.
That's true.
Is that fair?
That's very fair.
Yeah, and you found out there was an opportunity and you pursued it. And
yeah, I'd say probably what I knew about Watertown was that there was a Watertown, New York, and a Watertown, South Dakota. Yeah. But I didn't necessarily know about Watertown, Wisconsin.
I think actually most states have a Watertown.
That's probably true.
You need to look that up, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I always love to ask this, first impressions. I mean, that first day you came into Watertown,
yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Well, me personally, I'm kind of, so my background is in planning. I've done a little bit of general contracting, stuff like that. I have a major interest in architecture and those types of things. So yeah, so driving downtown and to go through, this amazing historic Main Street was kind of an interesting thing. I'm up driving down, looking at the cornices and things like that. And I'm like, wow, what's going on in Watertown?
Trying not to hit anybody.
Trying not to hit anybody. Yeah. Yep. So, the first impression for me was kind of just seeing this amazing historic district downtown and kind of getting a sense like, wow, there's something interesting going on here. It's not cookie cutter. I think a lot of times now when you drive through some communities, there's a lot of redevelopment going on, and it's all it's of a certain modality, and it kind of takes away the uniqueness of place. So I think coming into Watertown the first time, it was like, wow, this is a unique place, especially with the river running through it too. And
there wasn't much that had actually been developed yet. You saw Watertown pre the library and pre the.
Well, no. So when I came in, the library was just under construction.
Okay.
So I didn't have the awareness of what it was before.
Okay.
And the town square, obviously, the Benson Family Town Square was kind of not under construction yet. That was one of the things that I took on coming in here.
Demolition was done?
But the buildings were already removed, so the site was bare. So I didn't necessarily see it before that point. But I mean, in the last, it's been close to 2 years now, certainly there's been tremendous impact downtown and a lot of work going on. I mean, if you drive out, we'll have to get a before and after picture for the Benson Family Town Square. That site, even when it was just a bare site to what it is today, driving down Main Street, it's just incredible, the changes.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, it has.
So you mentioned your background. Let's talk about that. What is your background? What did you study?
Yeah, so I've kind of come, people keep telling me you're just this young kid coming in here, and it's like, well,
you're young to me,
right? Exactly. So I've had my background has kind of meandered a little bit.
Right.
So for me, this job here in Watertown was kind of coming full circle. I started out in public affairs in undergrad, kind of went out and did some general contracting for a while. Spent quite a bit of time actually facilities management, doing that kind of thing, and then sort of returned. Went to grad school at UW in Madison to get a degree in planning and community and economic development. And so this position for me and being here in Watertown was kind of a blending of a lot of different interests, right? So it was the public affairs piece. I'm kind of a geek for local government. I think government should be as localized as possible. I think that's where impact is made. Yep. And then to be able to kind of connect with the redevelopment side of things, this was one of the best professional experiences of my life.
So what do you think, since you've been here, the greatest accomplishment's been? What are you going to be most proud of when you drive away?
I think, well, what I'm going to be most proud of is just the connections that I made. And I know that sounds kind of fluffy and whatever, but honestly, to me, this work is about connections.
Yep.
And in the 2 years, just under 2 years that I've been here, there's a lot that was going on before me. So it's this moment in time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a mistake to look at something as a moment in time, right? There's a lot of work that was done before I got here. Yep. There's a lot of work that'll happen after I'm gone. And it's this sort of like a continuity of the work that I'm proud of just being a piece of that, right? So there's things that we've been working on since I've been here, which won't come to fruition, until some of it will be, 6 to 8 months from now. Some of it will be 5 years from now. Right. But it was being a piece of those things. So I think for me, I'm most proud of just being a piece of the story of Watertown and connecting with the amazing people that are here.
Yeah, I tell my students a lot, relationships in life are what's important.
Yep.
So, and you've made a lot of great relationships while you've been here.
Well, it's an amazing community. That was, you asked about one of the first impressions of the community too. I think one of the other first impressions was, Watertown's 24,000 people. It's a decent sized city, but you go around and people still give you the wave. Yeah. People know your name, people talk to you, people smile at the grocery store, at the coffee shop. It feels like a community. It doesn't feel like a city of 24,000. Yeah. And it's an easy place to get to know people.
So what would you suggest to the person that's going to take your position next?
Be ready for a wild ride. There's a lot going on here. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I hope that whoever steps in can again establish relationships and rely on the people who are already doing the good work in the community. Yeah. My role with the city was one of being a facilitator. There's a lot of people who are out doing the actual work, and a big piece of what I did here was connecting those people who are doing the work to each other to sort of multiply the impact that they have. And I think that'll be a big key for whoever steps in going forward. I hope that they can rely on the people who are doing the good work in the community and connect them and facilitate that as much as possible.
But you're a city employee.
Yes.
But you have been heavily involved in other organizations outside of the city.
Yep.
So talk about that a little bit, some of the groups that you've worked with.
Yeah, well, again, that goes right back to the heart of what I was just saying. It's this connector piece, right, and the facilitator. So in this role, it's sort of, you have a lot of relationships. Like, for example, we work heavily with the Main Street program here in town. A board member for the Chamber of Commerce. And so those are the organizations that are out doing work. There's obviously a number of different really powerful foundations in town. It's connecting with those groups and bringing people together to do amazing things.
So can you work for DeForest and still be a board member for the Watertown Chamber?
I'm not opposed.
We got to get DeForest to know.
I'm not opposed. Let me tell you, Steve, so I think probably 6 to 8 months in, I started to realize, and I think maybe people don't necessarily always realize the amazing businesses that are here in town too.
Absolutely.
Who we have in Watertown,
Yeah.
The companies that are here and the work that goes on here. And so probably 6 to 8 months in, we started going to grocery stores and stuff. And I'd point out to my wife, Erin, I'd be like, I'd grab a case of Claire bread off the shelf and I'd point to, you see where this is from? This is Watertown. Yeah. Or I'd grab Bubbler and say, Watertown. Now she's just annoyed with me because I do it every single time. And I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
I'm still going to grab those off the shelf. Watertown.
There's some very unique things made here
that's
that
amazing.
I don't think people
are
really aware of. And you lead the RDA.
Yes.
So talk about that.
Yeah, so the Redevelopment Authority, my primary role with the RDA, so I'm the executive director for that. The primary responsibility and the work that we've been doing has been the Benson Family Town Square. That's been task number one, I guess. And we're pretty much rounding up to completion on that, which is extremely exciting.
6 weeks away, 7
yeah,
weeks away.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Right.
So that's great. And then we also have a revolving loan program that we put out to our downtown businesses and property owners within a specific geographic area to help them make investments in their properties. And that's been, we partner with 3 really great community banks, Bank First, Ixonia Bank, and Bank of Lake Mills have been great to stand up a program that's got $600,000 to lend out at low interest.
How many businesses have participated in that?
We've done, since the inception of the program, I think we've done 12 or 13 projects. Okay. And they've ranged from everywhere from, I want to say, in the $12,000 to $13,000 range, all the way up to roughly $150,000. So we try to focus on, it's an open application. We have a committee that reviews those applications on a number of different criteria. We try to be as fair and objective as possible with putting those loans out. And I mean, right now we're pretty much maxed out. I mean, people are making use of that left and right. And it's amazing to see people just reinvest in their properties. And I think one of the impacts of that program too is that, a property owner on Main Street utilizing this program to do some facade work, and the Main Street program has a great grant program for that too. So these programs help people invest in their properties, and then the person next to them says, hey, their storefront looks amazing now. I kind of want to, and it has this sort of residual effect. Yeah. Exactly, keeping up with the Joneses, and people, it really has a visible impact when you drive down Main Street.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So help me out with something. You participated a year ago, finished in June, in Leadership Watertown.
Yes.
I got to get you to give a plug. What was the value of that?
Yeah, so
partnering in that.
Leadership Watertown is a program that the Chamber puts on, as you well know, and it is an opportunity for leaders in the community, whether that's with business or city government, anybody who, I think it's open to anybody who wants.
It is, absolutely. Chamber members. Obviously.
Chamber members. The goal is to connect, again, talking about connections, the goal is to connect with other people who want to invest their time and energy into creating an amazing community. And so you get this group, and the whole training program lasts about a year, and every month we'll go on these visits and different activities where we're going to either visit businesses or visit unique things about the Watertown community and just learn more about what Watertown is and connect, again, making those connections with other individuals who care about the community, who want to.
But as a person that was heavily involved, what's one thing you learned that surprised you? Anything?
Well, I think I learned that people deeply, deeply care. Because again, all the people who I interacted with through that program, they all wanted to be there. Nobody's forced to be there. They're all people who say, you know what, I want to get out and I want to know more about Watertown. And so I also don't think that was necessarily surprising to me, because in my job, I've come across people who care deeply every single day. And I think to be able to bring those people together and to have the Leadership Watertown program and kind of go around and meet more of those people, it's inspiring. It just has this buildup of energy, and it makes you want to do more.
So we've talked a lot about the new town square. What other strategic initiatives have you been working on that aren't secret yet?
Yeah. There was a lot that we've been doing with childcare on the childcare front, trying to establish some workforce childcare programs for the business community. Obviously, there's a lot of labor challenges right now in terms of finding employees. So a lot of our efforts, and really a lot of this is spearheaded by Mayor McFarland. I mean, she's before I came on, she was doing this. We did it together, and I'm fortunate to have had that opportunity in the time that I was here, and she'll continue doing it after, and she'll connect with whoever's in this position afterwards. But the role itself is to be a big support for our business community. So a lot of the things that we did were listening to their needs, connecting with them in business visits, listening to their needs, understanding where their pain points were or where their areas of opportunity were, and then seeing how we could chip away at that, in whatever capacity we could.
Very cool. All right, what are you going to do in DeForest?
Well, hopefully a lot of the same stuff that I've done here.
Same position, similar position?
It's very similar.
Yeah. So I can't beg you to stay here if you're just going to go do the same job? I mean,
I wouldn't be opposed to a return someday.
Yeah. Well, we hope you come back, seriously. And obviously you got to come back for the opening of the park. And see what's going on, and then come back for the apartments and see some of the fruits of your labor.
You know, I've said a couple times to different people as I've been talking about this transition, my time here has made me a fan of Watertown for life. You know,
good.
I'm gonna talk up this community as much as I can because, again, when I started here, I was like, Watertown, South Dakota, Watertown, New York, where is this? And I want people to know that there's a Watertown, Wisconsin, and that it's the unique place that it is.
I appreciate that. You've been a great friend.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
All right, that's a wrap for this week's Chamber Chat. Remember, be a member, be engaged, be noticed. Thanks a lot for joining us.